Mark chapter 5 verses 25 to 29. Now a certain woman who had a flow of blood for 12 years, and had suffered many things from many physicians. She had spent all that she had, and was no better, but rather grew worse. When she heard about Jesus, she came behind him in the crowd and touched his garment. For she said, "If only I may touch his clothes, I shall be made well." Immediately the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of the affliction. There was a woman who had been hemorrhaging for 12 years. According to Jewish law, not only was she unclean, but everything she touched also became unclean. One consequence of her condition was that she couldn't participate in religious services, which was central to Jewish life. She was also quarantined from her community to prevent her from contaminating everyone and everything around her. Her life could be compared to that of a leper. She must have been rich at one time, since she was able to pay for her medical bills for years. But eventually, her funds were depleted and she was penniless. The Bible says that she had been under the care of many doctors. The more she paid, the more she suffered, and the worse her condition became. 12 years of physical pain, emotional distress, financial loss, quarantine, being despised. How could she endure it? She must have been a strong, resilient woman. But there are limits to everyone's endurance. When she had done all she could, and her strength had finally given out, the light of hope shone on her. She heard that Jesus, who had come from Galilee to Capernaum, had the power to heal. She left home in search of Jesus and found him surrounded by a large crowd. Though she was not supposed to touch anyone, nor let anyone touch her, she sneaked into the throng of people. Neither religious rules nor social norms would stop her from approaching Jesus. Nothing would stand in her way. With every step she took, numerous bystanders became ceremonially unclean without even realizing it. If they recognized her, she could be stoned to death. She could not reveal who she was without risking execution. At the same time, she could not go back home without meeting Jesus. Eventually, she decided to touch Jesus, or at least his garment. Jesus himself was in danger of becoming unclean. She extended her hand cautiously and timidly touched his garment. The flow of blood stopped immediately. How would I have reacted if I had been one of the crowd after finding out that she had contaminated me? Would I have accused her of being selfish? Or would I have had pity on her and congratulated her on her recovery? Would I have praised God for her cure, even though I had become unclean in the process? Or would I have complained about how unlucky I was? There are many people around us who are just like this woman. Maybe even a person we know is going through a similar situation. If their cure required someone else to be contaminated or make a similar sacrifice, would I volunteer? Would I have made a way for this brave woman, assuring her that it was okay if she made me unclean? I praise her for her courage. If I had been one of the crowd who had become unclean for her healing, I hope that I would have had a grateful heart, thankful that I could have been used to help a suffering soul.